Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Tiffany Benson, one part of Team Benson, and today I am gonna show you guys everything I got from the Dollar Tree for my garden. So first I just want to say a big welcome to all of our new subscribers. We got a ton over the holidays, and for those of you guys that don't know, I'm Tiffany. I am a small space desert garden here in Phoenix, Arizona, in the middle of the city in Zone 9B. And I have been gardening for the past few years, just kind of getting food for my family, and then also really focusing on growing herbs and medicinal medicine this year, because that's something that I wanted to have growing in my garden moving into the rest of 2020, and then now 2021. I want to have a strong foothold of all of my herbs, all of my medicinal herbs and all of that, as well as everything else I have going on back here. But I asked a question to you guys on my community tab on where you guys went to buy your garden supplies. And most people either said Lowe's or Home Depot, which is typically where everybody goes to get things. But one of the places that has a lot of really great things that you guys can use for your garden, expanding your garden, starting your garden, is the Dollar Tree. And I feel like it's always worth taking a look in there because they always have such cool, interesting things, and some things that you would think that, you wouldn't even be able to find anywhere else, they would have it there, and it's just $1. So I went shopping at the Dollar Tree and I picked up a couple more things for my garden that I'm using to expand my garden or just make life a little bit easier in my garden, and I'm going to show you guys all of it right now. Okay, so first things first is a repeat buy, and I got this last year, and I think I was actually one of the first YouTube channels to show it because it was like my craziest video, and right now that they have them back out and people have been posting it on Instagram, everybody's watching those videos too. So I have the three pot stackables. Now I just got 3 of them, and as you can see, they stack. And this is what I have growing. My bok choy is growing in one of these similar to it. And then I have lettuce growing in the other one, which will have more lettuce that I'm starting in the house. Now, these things are only $1 each, guys, and they add so much space to your garden. A normal 3-tier tray can be anywhere upwards of like $200. But these are just $1 each, and you can get as many as you want and stack them as high as you want. I put them on wheels, but that was a bad idea when it reached 120 for 45 days straight. Thanks, Arizona. So that melted the wheels right off of it. But I've had these in my garden for the past year, and they've held up really well in the middle of the heat. There's no cracking, no nothing on them. They're doing really, really good. So this year, Dollar Tree had blue ones, which I think are very pretty. So I'm excited to add these next to the other tier trays or tier planters by my tree. So another thing that the Dollar Tree had that is typically very expensive other places are microgreen seeds. Now, if you don't know, the Dollar Tree has a ton of seeds called American Seed, which is the brand. And I haven't really planted a lot of seeds from the Dollar Tree. I've done once, somebody sent it to me in a gift card, and I think they were carrots, and I planted them and they sprouted and they were fine. But I haven't ever planted a lot of other seeds from the Dollar Tree. There's a lot of people in the groups that I belong to on Facebook that get all of their seeds from the Dollar Tree, and the Dollar Tree most Dollar Trees have a huge variety of trees. But one of the things I wanted to plant were microgreens, but I did not want to take all of my seed packets that I spent like $3-4 for per seed packet and just throw them all in there and use them all at one time, because I want to grow some of those things like my cabbages and my lettuce and all those different things out to full size. So I decided to try the microgreens here, because for $1 I can use this whole pack and not feel bad by just letting it grow to a little bit and then harvesting it in 5 days. So I think that I'm gonna put this on one of the tier trays or one of the tier planters and grow that in there. And then I'm gonna get a couple more of these, so then I just have kind of like an ongoing supply of microgreens whenever we want to eat sushi or salads or any type of other pasta. Our eggs, which is another thing that works really good with microgreens. Now the next thing I got here is one of these. Now, being in my garden, I did not make my beds really tall, so a lot of times if I'm like getting out little weeds or planting something, I'll have my stool that I sit on. You guys have probably seen it when I do a garden tour. It's just a crate with some pillows on it, but it would be nicer if I could kneel on something. Now being 35, I know, I do not want to just be kneeling on my knees on the brick because that's painful. So I got one of these little cushions because it was just $1 and it makes a difference. Put it right down there and I could reach all sides of the beds without my little stool, which I can't reach because I'm sitting. So this is going to be really helpful this spring when everything is wild and crazy and, you know, things are blossoming and blooming and birds are dropping seeds everywhere in my garden. So the next thing that I got that I think is pretty cool, guys, are these plant clips. How cool is that? Now these have been really expensive other places. I've seen plant clips and I buy like the little ties from Home Depot, and normally they're around like $5-6 a pack just for a few of the little ties. And these plant clips look just like that. They're not going to destroy your vines, which is going to be nice because since they have the space in between them like this, then that means that you're not going to be pulling it too tight and the plant will have room to grow. So I was really excited when I saw these. I actually got 2 of them because a lot of times during the summer, when everything in the spring and everything is growing really crazy, it's hard for me to kind of keep everything honed in on its little space and on its trellis and just bring it all in. So I'm really looking forward to using these during the spring when I have like my cucumbers growing and my beans growing and my tomatoes going crazy, because I think that's going to help me just kind of hone in everything and keep it all nice and tight and perfect. Now the next thing that I got, I opened it up just because I needed to use it, and this was why I went to the Dollar Tree, were these little resealable bags. Now what's nice about these is that when you open like a packet of seeds and you're wanting to store the rest of your seeds, if you put it just back in the pack, it doesn't ever seal all the way. So what I do is I take one of these. Now I did not find these ones in the garden section. I found these in the craft section of the Dollar Tree. But I just pour the rest of the seeds in these. I label them just in case I ever lose the big package. And then I just put the whole thing inside the package. And then therefore I still have the seeds and they don't get everywhere. They're not like mix and match and everything is fine. Because I do have a couple of little black seeds that I don't know if they're cabbages or lettuce or collards or what, because they all look the same. Now the next thing that I have are these little cute little pots, guys. Look at how cute these are. Now I love little pots. I put little pots everywhere in my garden because you can always stick them on top of a brick. You can stick them in front of a bed. You can do pretty much anything with them. And now these are plastic and they're kind of a harder plastic too as well. So I don't think that they're going to be like easily to break or anything like that. But I really like the design on it too. It's like a fake wood. And this is going to be enough space if you're growing like some herbs, if you're growing a bed of microgreens or anything like that. And if you guys missed my container video, the one thing that I did mention was that the nice part about having pots is that when you have a small space garden that you really don't have an option of where you can plant things, then you can move the pots wherever the sun is. One of the things we do between our front door and our back garden is I can plant something in plant the same thing in 2 matching pots and then just switch it back and forth. So then that way I always have something pretty by the door, but since it doesn't get that much sun, just every 2 days I switch it, and that way it can get some oxygen to it. Now the last thing I got I think is actually pretty cool and I'm pretty excited about trying it. It is a soaker hose. Now, when it gets to be 100 and a million degrees outside, the last thing I want to do is stand out here and water my garden. I'm like, oh, it's like, okay, I have to like get myself up for it. Like even at 5 o'clock in the morning sometimes, guys, it's still 100 degrees. So I have to be like, come on, Tiffany, you can do it. You can do it. So I thought that this is going to be really helpful. It has just basically just little holes all the way down it, and you just attach it to your hose, and then I can put it the length of one of my beds and then just move it around. So instead of me standing out here and soaking it myself, I can just simply, you know, attach it that way. I think I could possibly also put a splitter on my hose too as well. That way I can get 2 of these. I just thought of that. So that's it for my Dollar Tree haul. I hope it helps, gives you guys some ideas and different places you can look to find different things for your garden. Because gardening sometimes can be expensive if you're trying to build everything at once. It can be a little bit pricey, especially when you have to start buying things like to build things or things to put things in. But if you go to places like the Dollar Tree, you can find a lot of really great stuff, and they've been putting out more and more stuff every single year now that they know that this is something that people are wanting to get for themselves. So make sure you guys go check it out, and don't forget to get you guys the trays here, because these are so cool and they've added a lot of things to my garden. I've grown a lot of things in these little guys and it's pretty helpful. So until next time, grow yourselves a garden, because even a small space can provide you with tons of food. Bye guys.